Good morning, everyone. Okay, we'll continue on our book reading this morning. The Toyota Way to Service Excellence by Jeffrey K. Leica and Karen Ross. We're in chapter 7, looking at macro level people principle. And we're in principle 10, which says organize to balance deep expertise and customer focus. We've looked at the challenge of organizational design. Yesterday, we looked at the common types of organizational design. We looked at functional organization, common facing organization, and matrix organization. And we define matrix organization as the kind of organization or the type of organizational design that is customer focused, that is having the customer in mind. Today on page 238, still on matrix organization, which is defined as the ideal organizational design that firms and industries should use. So we'll continue from there today, and it's going to tell us more of matrix organization. So Toyota has used matrix organization for decades. In product development, the functional groups like body engineers and chassis engineering report to a general manager within their technical specialty. The general manager is responsible for developing engineers with deep technical skills, assigning them to projects and doing their performance reviews. The engineers work on development projects reporting to a chief engineer for a vehicle like Camry. The chief engineer is the CEO of that vehicle program and is, in essence, renting the engineers as contractors. Although the chief engineer works to develop the engineers as well, the chief engineer does not want to be distracted by personnel administration issues. This reporting structure works extremely well in large part because of mutual respect between chief engineer and general manager of the function. The general engineer trusts the general manager to provide highly developed engineers, and the general manager sees the chief engineer as the most important customer. Reporting structure works extremely well in large parts because of mutual respect between the chief engineer and general manager of the function. The chief engineer trusts the general manager to provide highly developed engineers, and the general manager sees the chief engineer as the most important customer. In this way, matrix organizations seem to be the best of both worlds, and they can be seen all over Toyota. In Toyota culture, we describe how the human resource departments at Toyota's manufacturing operation in Georgetown, Kentucky, faced a major crisis when a number of female supervisors were sexually harassed. This led to a deep reflection, and the management concluded it was a failure of HR to build trusting relationships with team members on the factory floor. One result was to move HR professionals to the factory floor and make them responsible for a geographic region of the factory. Before this, the HR professionals had hard-line reporting relationship to human resources and dotted line reporting relationship to manufacturing. Now it was reversed. The primary reporting relationship was to the general manager in the factory so that they could focus on building relationships in a specific part of the factory. It made a large difference in rebuilding trust and developing a strong connection between the people in human resources and their core jobs. Developing people, but like any reorganization, it does not fix all the human resources problems for all times. For example, later in that same plant, when Gary Convins became president, he found weaknesses in human resource development because many key people had been hired away by other firms. He had to mount yet another major effort to develop leaders, even bringing in people from outside, even bringing in people from the outside. Matrix organization seems to be a win-win, but in reality, they are very difficult to manage. Now, instead of having one boss, team members have two or more, which can lead to confusion and conflicting direction unless one, the bosses communicate effectively, two, they are aligned towards common goals, and three, they respect each other. Toyota works hard to develop these types of relationship so it can make them work. But many other organizations which do not spend as much time developing people find it a very difficult structure to manage. Okay, this is where we'll stop for reading this morning. Still talking about different types of organizational design, or rather the common types of organizational design. So far, it has told us why matrix organization is actually the best kind of organization to use for a firm, either it's in the manufacturing industry or a product industry, whatever kind of industry you're into. You can use matrix organization. It has worked well for Toyota, it has worked well for Camry, and it has worked well for Chrysler. Like I explained yesterday, this matrix organization is a kind of organization where there is a hierarchy of authority. You're not just answering to one boss. You have a manager, you have a general manager, you have a team lead, and you have probably a secretary. So there's this hierarchy of authority. So in this matrix organization, it can be a win-win situation where bosses communicate effectively, like there's a free flow of communication between the subordinates and the superior. Secondly, they align towards a common goal, and thirdly, they respect each other. So these are the things that can be found in a matrix organization. And the bosses also spend time, or the company or firm also spend time developing their people, and so on. So that is it for matrix organization. Next, on common types of organization, common designs of organization, we're looking at networked organization. Networked organization. So that is it for our reading this morning. Thank you.